Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb lunch hour. Happy Monday. I am happy to be here with y'all today. For those of y'all who do not know me, my name is Mariah Sincere, and I am a self love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives through one on one coaching. I am the proof, y'all. I've been through it all. I've been through toxic relationships, bad breakups, job loss, childhood trauma. I've been through all of that. And at the beginning of the year, I decided I wanted to change my life. And within 6 months, I moved to Colombia. So I'm one of those people, whenever I get my mind set on something, it's as good as done. So if you're looking for somebody to work with you on that level, and you need some one on one coaching, get some help getting your life together, hit me up at thepassportsis at gmail.com. My coaching is only $30 an hour, and that's for everybody. With that said, guys, we got a good lunch hour. I'm just going to wait on some people to get in here. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump working towards Employee of the Month at McDonald's. We're going to talk about Trina seemingly pimping her husband. And we are going to also talk about weather manipulation. And my mod, Skinny Boy, he actually brought this topic to my attention. I had heard about it before, but he's the one that kind of primed me to look into it. So we're going to talk about that. I'm just going to wait for a couple more people to hop into the comments. And while we're doing that, I'm going to light my candle. Now, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Y'all know I gotta light my candle to set the vibe. If y'all hear some noise, I apologize. Y'all know I live on a busy street here in Colombia, and I wouldn't have it any other way. That's part of the reason why I left the United States, because I wanted to be somewhere where there was more life, and we definitely get that here. So, but hopefully, y'all shouldn't be able to hear too much because this is noise canceling. And you know what? I've been coming late these past couple days. Everybody probably expect, oh, this is not going to stay lit because I have this air blowing. Everybody probably expects me to come really late today, like at least by 30 minutes. And I'm on time today. Okay, is it gonna stay lit? Okay, good to go. Again, guys, if y'all are coming in, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section. Y'all, the more y'all talk to me and interact, the more interesting these lives are. Y'all know I like to keep a jump in and live conversation going, but I definitely feed off y'all energy. So y'all gonna get into it, out of it what you put into it for sure. Okay, I'm gonna give it about a minute and then I'm just going to go ahead and get started. It is so hot lately. Y'all know in South America, it's like the seasons are opposite. So when it's our fall and our winter in the United States, it gets hotter. It's like their summer. It's like the opposite. Now, technically in Medellin, they say this is the city of eternal spring and there's no seasons, but it is definitely has been hotter here these past like 2 months than it was when I first got here. I feel like when I first got here, it was cooler. So I'm not saying that they have extreme seasons here. I'm saying it seems like it does kind of change. And even some Colombians have told me like they've noticed the past few years it's been getting hotter here. All right, guys. So we are going to go ahead and get to it. The first thing I want to talk about is weather manipulation, extreme manipulation. Now, there are some people who are saying that the government is intentionally causing natural disasters. And I know that sounds extremely crazy. Okay. it sounds almost impossible. I mean, we grew up being taught that only God or science could manipulate the weather, and it seems like such an astronomical task, to do. Um, so I feel like it feels like such a reach to think that man could control the weather. With that said, and I'm going to show y'all later on, there's already evidence to suggest that we are capable of such things. This is nothing new. And as y'all know, we like to progress in things. We don't just like to stop at doing it a little bit. We like to go all the way. So if 10 years ago, we were able to cloud seed, and I'm going to explain to y'all what that is for those of y'all who don't know, then what do y'all think we can do now? Right. So I am going to pull up some Instagram clips that my moderator, Skinny Boy, sent me. One second. Oh, I'm not even on my saved threads. I'm all on the baddest chicks Instagram. We're gonna talk about her in a minute. Okay. So he sent me 3 videos. We're going to watch them all. Let me make sure that y'all can hear them and that they are presenting. Okay. So Skinny Boy sent me this. This is on Instagram, the Educated Travelers page. So the caption is weather warfare is being waged on humanity. So dramatic. Let's see what he's talking about.
To give you an update on what's happening, especially coming towards US now with the hurricanes. I call them harpicanes because it's harp systems and NEXRAD systems.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me pull it back up.
Yeah, folks, just wanted to give you an update on what's happening, especially coming towards US now with the hurricanes. I call them harpicanes because it's harp systems and NEXRAD systems, advanced technology used by military that's creating, steering, and aggravating these things. You've even got NOAA, the Association for the Weather, spraying up over the hurricane right now. So this is some serious fuckery. Human beings around the world need to wake up. This is 5th generation warfare. These are attacks on our lives.
Okay, I'm trying not to cuss, but you already got to know that when a white man says cluckery, he means business.
Under Agenda 2030, there's something called the Sustainable Development Plan 2030. I've covered that in videos before, but they also have something called the Wildlands Project. So whether you see people losing their homes due to floods, fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, this is all part of a bigger plan by the military-industrial complex, BlackRock, in other words, the Zionist cabal, to get rid of people from where they're living and move them to human buffer zones if they survive, or FEMA camps. Now, talk about FEMA. They're doing everything to insult and block people that want to go and give aid to those in need, those who have survived this big.
Okay, I just want to take pause. Now, he's not the first person that I've heard say this. As a matter of fact, the first time I've heard of this phenomenon of or conspiracy, we can call it a conspiracy. We don't know, like conspiracy theory. The first time I heard this brought to my attention was actually during Hurricane Katrina, and people were like, y'all remember they said that the government blew the levees up, and the goal was to get people that lived in those poor areas of town out so that they can go and regentrify that area in New Orleans, which did in fact happen. I mean, when they left, they most people couldn't come back. They couldn't afford to come back. They weren't giving the assistance to come back. A lot of people went to go live in FEMA trailers and they got sick from those FEMA trailers, which, whether that was intentional or unintentional, who knows? But my point is that I do understand why people would believe that there is motive to manipulate the weather to get people off their property, because at the end of the day, very rich people or people who have money to invest do stand to benefit, especially in these areas that are prime real estate. Hey, skinny boy, how are you today? Yes, I'm talking about your topics. Again, guys, if y'all are just now coming in, hit the like button. This video put the icing on the cake for me. Yeah, and I'm going to come with some evidence that what he's saying is probably not too far off. Okay. I'm going to supplement this, but let me finish this video up.
North Carolina flood. So when the very authorities who's supposed to help you go against you after the disaster has been launched on people, then you know who the fuckers are. That's your enemy. You know, people have been bamboozled with their television fake media to believe everything that they put out, that these are natural disasters and natural hurricanes. There's nothing natural. It's fake hurricanes, fake tornadoes. When I say fake, I mean created by man, created by machines. And with the fake news, that's definitely fake. They indoctrinate people that this is all natural and you need to brace yourself, etc., etc. And then in comes the big slam. People lose their lives, some of them, and their property.
Now, I do know that weather is unpredictable, and scientists and meteorologists, they do their best. They're taking like educated guesses based on previous patterns and information that they've learned, an observable phenomenon, right? But like, okay, for example, y'all remember the hurricane that just happened, Milton? I feel like they boosted that so much just to get people out of their homes, right? That way you don't have to try to make them get out of their home. Like they're already gone, they've already evacuated. That's one less person you have to try to force out. And everybody in Florida is saying that Hurricane Helen or Helene, I don't know how to pronounce it, was far more catastrophic than Hurricane Milton. But Milton had the mayor of Tampa getting on the news saying, if you stay, you're going to die. And trust me, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who were unalive, but um from all accounts that I've heard from people who live in Florida, it wasn't as bad as Hurricane Helen. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. Yes, lunch crew going up. Y'all remember to hit that like button as y'all are coming in. Hey, crew, I'm going to work out while I listen, but I'm here. Yes, I think this will be a good listen. Okay, salute, Queen. Hey, Jamal, good to see you here, brother. Okay, we got the crew. Yeah, I love to see y'all working out, taking care of y'all body, staying healthy. This is the time to do that.
And now they've been displaced. And then often they come in with new legislation that you are not allowed to rebuild your home because now that area is deemed flood hazardous.
It is a way to steal land. And some people might think, well, why would the government do that? They have access to other land. But what y'all have to understand, like, even if you think about the history of America, um, people have always been here. People have always been on certain property. All you have is people come and just take land, right? For example, when people first got to the United States, when American or people from Europe first came to the United States, uh, New Orleans was colonized at first by the French, right? So, but there were already natives living on that land. So you had the French come and colonize it, right? Then you had the Spanish come and colonize it. Then the French took it back when they went to war with the Spanish. And then the French sold it to the United States. So we've seen this constant passing of land, passing of hands on this land through either war or legislation or people just feeling like this is a desirable land. It's never going to be undesirable. I mean, the port of New Orleans is a major port to the United States. So there's financial incentive and benefit for people to want this land. And the only way that you're going to get it, if the people that live there won't sell it, is to forcibly remove them some way, somehow. And you can't just go in and have a mass, genocide like, the US used to do back in the day on the natives. You got to try to like have a reason that's not going to have people outraged to get these people off of their land. And what better than a natural disaster? Because, allegedly nobody can control the weather, that's nobody's fault if they have to leave. Hey, Carlos, how are you today? Good to see you, brother. Yes, hey Olivia. Okay, everybody here, y'all remember to hit that like button so people can know that I'm on live.
Or fire hazardous land. This is all horse shit. This is a land grab. This is part of the Sustainable Development Plan 2030. Sustainable development means gradual kill off. Back in Rio de Janeiro in 98, they agreed, 179 countries, that they needed to depopulate Earth. And that means they've weaponized everything, even the weather. So look up Dane Wigington and educate yourself. Look up the Dollar Vigilante, Max Eigen, and others. They will explain to you the real news, the real facts. Stu Peters, there's another good one. So start listening to people who actually have a heart left in their chest, who care. And then you'll start waking up to the real ugly picture that we are all under attack financially, with the weather, medically, sexually, with the children, the LGBTQ things. All right? And stop fucking voting. This is bullshit. It's two heads of the same beast. There's obvious globalists, and then there's
Okay, so I'm gonna stop him right there. So I feel like, I mean, it's pretty hard to ignore some of the evidence, right? So right now, there are so many mass layoffs, and I don't want to say that to discourage my audience, because I firmly believe that the people are going to make it who are going to make it through this are the ones who are not going to get stuck in despair, right? But you have the intentional creation of AI, right? And AI is taking a lot of jobs. A lot of people are laying off their workforce. And I personally feel like if you had a government or a system that was interested in maintaining the population of Earth, then they wouldn't allow these certain things to take over. Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Because a lot of these jobs are not going to come back, right? As far as him talking about the LGBTQ is an agenda to depopulate the earth, let me just say this. And I know I probably have a lot of subscribers who are a part of that community, and I have friends and family who are a part of that community. And I feel like, and from what I learned, this is not just what I feel like. I literally read this in books when I was in college. Most people who are psychologists and study this would agree that it is not just a nature or nurture thing, that you have some people who are just genetically predisposed to like the same sex, and then you have other people who are conditioned through environment, right? Exposed to these things through environment, right? And then you have some people who have that gene, but the environment is what triggers the expression of the gene. So all of this, whether people are and are not born this way, or whether or not it is can or cannot be influenced, it's far more complicated than that. What I will say is, I have met people who I grew up with since we were small children, and like we knew then you was gonna be playing for the other team. It is what it is. And I've seen people who they were babies, and I've watched them grow into teenagers. And when they were babies, we said, okay, yeah, that boy, he got a little sugar in his tank. right? And that's why I truly believe that some people are born this way. But then I'm seeing stuff where it's just like, no, y'all are definitely being influenced, or y'all are definitely jumping on this bandwagon, or you're deciding to go to the opposite sex because it's socially acceptable now, and because you don't want to be alone and you feel like you're going to find the love that you're looking for in another gender. Or for a lot of men, it's like, okay, well, it's too much work trying to sleep with women. It's socially acceptable for us to get with men now, so we're gonna go where the smegs is easy. Do y'all get what I'm trying to say? So, with that said, there is depopulation that comes with that, because then you're going to have less people being able to naturally have kids. And not all people a part of that community are going to be able to afford surrogates or be able to afford to do IVF and things of that nature. But I don't necessarily think that it's such a bad thing for us to kind of put a lid on having kids, because I feel like the world is overpopulated right now and it's not sustainable. I think there's a humane way to do it though. I don't think it's right to try to force people out of their homes, starve them into being unalived. That's something that could gradually be done with people just making the choice not to have any more kids. Get ready for something climactic to happen in Wyoming. There's an estimated $37 billion worth in those mountains. So you are referring to that wildfire that is going on in Wyoming, and y'all remember the wildfire that happened in Hawaii, and all those people got their property snatched up. That is what Skinny Boy is referring to. So we think something like that might be going on. Hey, Cha Cha, good to see you, sis. Glad you could catch a live. So, for those of y'all who are just tuning in, we are talking about these natural disasters and whether or not they're actually natural disasters or if they are orchestrated, catastrophic weather events that are being used as land grab, or possibly for the purposes of depopulation. Girl, oof. Well, I pray you get some rest soon. I know that's right. Money make the world go round. All right.
The hidden globalists, but they're not so hidden, like Mr. Operation Warp Speed, also pushed the 5G, signed $6.2 trillion additional debt onto all Americans with the Federal Reserve, and the list goes on. So stop believing in politicians. Stop looking for some hero to come and save you. Well, Mr. Operation Warp Speed will save us. There's nobody from the cabal that's going to save you. They have controlled oppositions. They all have to fly down to APAC meetings and kiss the Zionist boots down there before they can even run as a president for a corporation. It's not even a freaking nation anymore if it's America. So wake up, form militia groups with true patriotic people. There is nobody on your side from top level of military that's going to.
And y'all remember, Skinny Boy, we talked about this last week, how you had volunteers trying to help people and trying to help with the relief efforts after Hurricane Milton, but you had the federal government stopping it. So, like, I totally agree with what he said. Says, I think it's pointless for us to try to fight each other over which presidential candidate is the best, or doing this lesser of two evil things. The problem is people are always looking for somebody to come save them. That is in life and in love and in business. We are always looking for somebody outside of ourselves to step up and do the work. And that's what's causing a lot of the arguing. When if people would just learn to organize within their communities, we're more than capable of self-governing. And I'm not going to say that I don't believe in having a federal government. I believe that the federal government has way too much power, right? And that people are far more capable of handling things locally and in their communities, where people know each other and their needs and their desires, and have each other's best interests at heart way more than a government that's situated like 10 states over and has other concerns. Guys, my camera is about to die. That's fine. I can just talk to y'all off screen. I forgot to charge it.
I'm going to come and help you. So anyway, do some research. Stop watching your sports. You're in the middle of a war waged on you, and you want to watch sports and do meaningless things because your pixel in the big picture is all right. Well, it isn't permanently. Trust me. They're coming for all of us. And united we stand, or apart we fall.
And we're living in a time, guys, where you can't get too comfortable sitting where you're at. Like, I keep hearing people say, if you have a job right now, hold on to it because the economy is getting bad. And that's the wrong mentality to have. I'm not saying go quit your job tomorrow. You need to be looking forward. What is the next thing? What can I start building right now while I still have this job? Because this job could let me go at any day, and I need to have some type of backup plan. Not I'm just going to sit here, be stagnant, and not grow in any other area because I'm hoping and praying this job chooses to hold on to me. That is absolutely the wrong mentality to have. You need to be dynamic. You need to be able to quickly acclimate and quickly adapt and keep moving forward. Oh, Skinny Boy sent me this. Y'all remember when we were talking about how Florida people are crazy? Okay, so this says Floridians know it's only just a swamp puppy. Look at this.
No, get down. Get down. Go.
Why he spanked the alligator? Y'all, I would have screamed and jumped so hard that whole boat probably would have tipped over. Okay, so this is a news clip from CBS from 9
climate change yesterday. And now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. They did not get into this discussion,
no.
though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers really to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far, it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Climate change yesterday,
and now we do know that that cloud seeding is real because y'all remember in Dubai when, like, what was this, a couple months ago in Dubai, they did something bad to where it caused flooding, like it would not stop raining. So here's the story here. I'm gonna share it again. So at this point, the cloud seeding thing, that's not even a conspiracy theory. Like, we have proof of this. Okay. So this is on BBC. So a trusted news network, mainstream news. What is cloud seeding and did it cause Dubai flooding? So Dubai is situated on the coast of United Arab Emirates and is usually very dry, but while it received less than 100 millimeters a year of rainfall on average, it does experience occasional extreme downpours. In the city of, give me 1 second, guys. In the city of Al Ain, just over 100 kilometers from Dubai, about 10 inches of rain was recorded in just 24 hours. And if y'all don't know, Dubai is basically a city built in the middle of the desert. And the only reason why it even exists is because oil was found there and the people got rich really quick and built an artificial city. But no, it doesn't have that amount of rainfall naturally. A cutoff low pressure weather system, which drew in warm, moist air and blocked other weather systems from coming through, was the main cause. This part of the world is characterized by long periods without rain and then irregular heavy rainfall. But even so, this was a very rare rainfall event, explains Professor Martine Ambaum, a meteorologist at the University of Reading who has studied rainfall patterns in the Gulf region. Okay, what role did climate change play? It is not yet possible to exactly quantify how much of a role climate change plays. That requires a full scientific analysis of natural and human factors, which can take several months, but the record rainfall is consistent with how the climate is changing. Okay, so this article is trying to paint it as just a climate change event. But give me 1 second. Okay, so I found this website on the page of Desert Research Institute. So this is an educational site. 1 second. Okay, so this is called What is Cloud Seeding? So cloud seeding is a weather modification technique that improves a cloud's ability to produce rain or snow by introducing tiny ice nuclei into certain types of sub-freezing clouds. These nuclei provide a base for snowflakes to form. After cloud seeding takes place, the newly formed snowflakes quickly grow and fall from the clouds back to the surface of the earth, increasing snowpack and stream flow. So they can create snow too. And the rest of this article just talks about how they do it and the benefits from it. Oh, here's an experiment in Wyoming, we were just talking about Wyoming. In Wyoming, a 10-year cloud seeding experiment in the Snowy Range and Sierra Madre Range resulted in 5 to 15% increases in snowpack from winter storms. And older research from a cloud seeding program in the Bridger Range of western Montana showed snowfall increase of up to 15% from the cloud seeding using high altitude remote controlled generators. Basically, they put remote control generators up high in the sky, and that is how they generate the cloud seeding. These generators are similar to cloud seeding methods used by dry modern cloud seeding projects. So at this point, it's not like a conspiracy. They have the ability to manipulate weather. Another thing that they have the ability to do, guys, is they have the ability to take out carbon dioxide from the air. So this is from MIT. I'm going to share this. Okay, so y'all know how they keep talking about climate change, carbon emissions. They're trying to get everybody to get an electric car, which is terrible because in the event of a natural disaster, if you don't have gas, you're like screwed. I mean, you're out of luck. A lot of places don't even have the capacity and the infrastructure to support electric cars. I know California is completely trying to force people to move to electric cars, but we have technology that can remove CO2 out of the air. So, emerging technologies like direct air capture, which pulls carbon dioxide straight from the atmosphere, can remove some of the climate warming greenhouse gases humanity puts into the air. They offer the tantalizing possibility that humans could halt climate change without major changes to our way of life. We simply pull all the greenhouse gases we put into the atmosphere back out. But this is a nearly impossible task, says Charles Harvey, a MIT professor of civil and environmental engineering who has studied both natural and technological ways to take CO2 out of the atmosphere. Removing CO2 is one of the hardest and most expensive ways we could address climate change, far more difficult than simply emitting less carbon in the first place. So he's saying that the reason why we haven't done it is because it's expensive. Humanity produces a staggering amount of CO2, more than 35 billion tons of it each year. The Earth soaks up roughly half of that, Harvey says. When it moves carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into the ocean, plants, soils, and other natural carbon sinks. To fully cancel out our carbon emissions, humanity would have to capture and store the other half, or nearly 20 billion tons each year. So it seems like that's what's the problem. Trying to figure out how to store the carbon. I personally feel like even if we can't take out all of it every single year, they should at least try to remove some of it, right? If we have the technology to do that, maybe they're already doing that. Okay. Skinny boy, I'm going to send that to my Instagram. I can talk about that because I'm on a short time frame today. I can talk about it tomorrow. I'm listening while working, Mariah, so I won't be able to give much commentary in real time right now. I'll definitely hit up the comments later once I get some downtime. Okay, girl, yeah, no worries. Get your work done. All right, guys, so for the sake of time, I'm going to nip that in the bud. But we do know that technology does exist that can help us manipulate the weather. It's not a far-fetched theory that governments could use this technology in order to try to conduct land grabs. So that's possible. We're not going to say that these people who are saying this are crazy. There is basis for the theory. With that said, let's move on to Miss Trina. Now, Trina, let it be known, she does not have a prenup, and her husband brings all her money to her. So let's hear what the baddest chick had to say. Hold on, let me make sure y'all can see.
I didn't.
Why not?
Because my husband brings all of his money to me. So
What?
I'm in charge. He can't spend a dime without my consent. Can't spend a dime for nothing unless it goes through me.
That's
that
what
phone
I'm talking
go to ringing
about.
up, that thing go to, I see everything.
That's what
So,
I'm
yeah.
talking about. So you always call me Mrs. Davis. Mrs. Davis. What's your Mrs.?
Mrs. Kears.
Mrs. Kears.
Yes.
Love it,
Yes.
love it,
Yes.
love it, Mrs. Kears. Did you get a prenup?
Okay, and so
I
for
didn't.
those of y'all who don't know who the other lady is, that's Keisha Kayor. That's Gucci Mane's wife. They both look beautiful. So when I first heard this, I was like, what? Trina didn't get a prenup? So I'm like, okay, that's slow. That's not giving something that she would do. And the only reason why I could see a woman with that much money not getting a prenup is if she got with a man that has more money than her. Even then, I just don't think that that is the right thing for people to have that much money. Even if he had that much money, she still got her own money. I think prenups need to be negotiated, honestly and truly. And a lot of people don't agree with prenups because they say that's like dooming the marriage. But honestly and truly, a lot of the times people get married based on feelings. And, you think somebody's not going to drag you through the mud in court until they're dragging you through the mud in court, right? And how people act when they are so-called in love with you sometimes can be way different than how they act when they don't want you no more. So I feel like, people with money should protect themselves. And a prenup doesn't mean that you walk away with absolutely nothing. Okay. A prenup just means that y'all negotiate the terms of the divorce. So you could negotiate a one-time payout, or you could negotiate support for a certain amount of time. You could negotiate a specified time in which y'all can both stay in the marital home, or like there are a lot of things you can work out in a prenup that don't necessarily mean that you're coming out losing, right? So I feel like people need to change their minds around getting prenups. Now, hold on. When you saw this video with Trina, you thought of me. Now, let me tell y'all something. I personally don't agree with Trina getting on the internet and talking about this, to be honest. I don't understand why people are negotiating the whether or not they have a prenup publicly. I don't think that's a good thing to do. That's something that they need to keep to themselves for if they ever need to talk to a lawyer. And not just that, I don't like the fact that in order for her to try to make herself look better for not having a prenup, she threw her man under the bus. Y'all, if y'all are just now coming in, hit that like button. So, I think it's one thing for a woman to say, my husband pays all the bills. As a matter of fact, a lot of men respect other men who pay all the bills, right? I don't think that that's something that makes a man look weak or bad. People just assume if you can pay all the bills, that means you got a lot of money, right? But then it's a completely different thing for a man to bring his woman his whole check and not be able to spend his own money. That comes off as emasculating in the eyes of most people. And I know back in the day, with grandmama and them, way back when, a long time ago, y'all remember that movie Fences? The men used to bring the check home to the wife, and then the wife would handle the finances. This is not back in the day. And with the climate in the court of public opinion, even if your man is bringing you all of his money, I would never publicly embarrass him by saying that. And my whole thing is, why does he need to bring you all of his money? Because Trina has money. Why does your man need to bring you every cent, and you control how the money is flowing out? When I hear that, I think of like insecure women who want to make sure that their man is not spending money on other women, because most of the time men don't spend as much money as women do. So maybe he had a spending problem. It's like one or two things. Maybe he had a spending problem and she's trying to help him manage his funds, or she's trying to make sure he doesn't spend his money on other women, so she wants to watch his accounts. Either way, I feel like over time that could be like morally degrading to a man, especially when he got to come ask you for money to buy a pack of bubble gum. Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that. Yep. Okay. Oh, y'all getting into this lithium thing heavy. We'll get into it tomorrow. No, Mariah, I was talking about the alligator video. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you already know I'm scary. Thank you, skinny boy. I've come home and given both my wife and my baby mama my whole check. I'm single now, so do you recommend? Do you recommend? How did that feel? And there are probably other men who do this. They just don't talk about it. Agreed. It's not what you say, but how you say it. It came off nasty, low key. But yeah, like it came off as she was trying to let people know she got her man in check. And I don't understand why we needed to know that. Sometimes you can't block your blessings talking too damn much, right? And I say this all the time. Even when I hear men get on the internet and let's say their wives, the only reason why they're together is because their wives put up with cheating and infidelity and things like that. Why get on the internet and tell everybody? Just keep that to yourself. People need to learn to stop trying to embarrass their partner just to let everybody know that they got their partner so whipped, trained, or in check. Because me personally, you get on the internet telling my business, it's over. You get on the internet embarrassing me, it's a wrap. You know, it's one thing for us to deal with certain things in private. Now, me personally, I have the pride of a man who cheats all the time, but will leave his girlfriend for cheating on him one time. Now I don't cheat, but y'all know that type of man, like they got so much pride, like they are not gonna stay with a woman that cheat on them. That's me. Sometimes I feel it's okay, other times I feel shafted. Okay, Okay. Can you explain that? So, under what circumstances do you feel like you're cool with giving a woman your whole check, and then under what circumstances do you feel like she doing you greasy? Again, guys, y'all hit the like button as y'all are coming in. Get off the net, go buy a damn diary. Yes, like we did not need to know that. And again, I feel like the only reason why she gave that information is so that people wouldn't call her dumb for not having a prenup, but they didn't need to come on here and discuss that anyway. That's business. They could have discussed other like little, juicy, cute little details about the relationship, but like the money and the business, people need to keep that to themselves. That's just like how uh Gabrielle Union got on the internet telling people that she pays 50-50, even though we know Dwayne Wade supposedly has money. And what she didn't realize is that makes him look bad. I don't care about them paying 50-50. Me personally, fine. I'm always here for a woman that says, you know what, I'm going to pay 50-50 just so a man can't feel like he can control me. Like, I definitely understand that logic. Or some women will say, I want to pay 50-50 just so I can hustle harder and make sure I stay going to work and keep my career up. I think those are logical reasons. But when we are in a social climate where people are going to drag your man for you coming online and saying that, why say it? Like, girl, we know you work. We know you get to the money. We don't got to know how y'all split y'all bills in your house. Now, at first, when I heard this, I'm like, okay, what he looking like? Like, I'm like, what? Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. But baby, let me tell you, this man right here is fine. I'm finna show y'all her husband. He look good. So this is him right here, Benjamin Curse. And he looks like he might be a little bit younger than her too. Now, one thing about Trina, she stayed with a fine man. His nickname is Swerve. Y'all, he look good. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. This man is fine. She stayed with a fine man. The only man that I've ever seen her with that was unattractive was Lil Wayne. But at least she was with him when he was, people were blinded by the rapping and the money. Okay. Because right now he looked like something um off of A Bug's Life. Right now, he looked like one of them creatures off of Men in Black 1. It's not giving, but at least she was with him when he was at the top of his game. But since then, we always seen Trina with a man that looked good. That man is fine. So it can't be insecure. It can't be that he can't get other women. That it can't be that. So I don't know what Trina is doing to this man. And I tell women all the time, because you got the sprinkle lady, Shira, and I think she gives some solid game depending on what you're looking for out of life. But you got a lot of women these days who don't go date who they like, and in the process, they are messing up a lot of other men, using them for money. And to be fair, a lot of these men should have known that woman didn't really want him because it wasn't matching. But I am a firm believer in go get what you like. And people like different things. Like, I'm looking at this man right now and he looked good to me. He looked fine. I feel like most of the men Trina date are fine, but there are other women who don't like that. They might have a taste for something else. So beauty is definitely in the eye of the beholder. But I feel like a lot of women are too scared to go date the men that they actually want, because we keep hearing this saying, get with an ugly man because he's going to treat you better. When honestly and truly, in my experience, because I've dated a man who was less than attractive before, he drugged me worse than any handsome man. I feel like when you date handsome man, it's more of a better experience because they're more confident. Like, they treat you better. Like, even if the relationship didn't work out, most of the time it's not toxic. It's not them trying to bring you down, or you're not dealing with way too much jealousy. So that's me in my opinion. But I'm like, okay, girl, you got you a nice looking man. Apparently he does real estate and he flips houses. And you got your nice looking man that could probably have other women if he wanted to. Trina could have other men. She look good, she that chick. But uh he gets his own money and he's bringing you his check. Girl, why are you getting on the internet telling his business like that? Man, Lil Wayne looks so bad. Did y'all see that commercial that he did with those beats? And he did it with LeBron James. LeBron James was in it. Savannah James was in it. And he was like in a hotel room downstairs, called himself supposed to be asleep. Y'all, when he got up out that bed and went upstairs, the whole top, like the whole crown of his head was just gone, like bald, no dreads there, like he's like 60. I'm like, sir, just cut it off, let it go. I think it's about the character of the man and where he is mentally, so then his looks. I okay. I look at it this way. I look at it this way. Um, with looks and mind you, I'm this is equal, right? I think people are allowed to have preferences. I think people are allowed to look at something like the looks got to get you through the door, right? A lot of the times people won't even get to know your character unless you look like something to them. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is from my experience, and this is from most of the women who I've talked to, especially if there are women who are like pretty or look any type of way. A lot of the times it's just simply not true that a man is going to treat you better just because he's less attractive than you. Like most of the time I see those men drag those women. That's not saying that a man that is unattractive will not treat you good, and that if you shouldn't give him a chance if you want to. Like, no, go for it if you want to, and he's treating you good. But like this whole myth that the man that you find to be the least attractive is going to give you everything you want in life, that is so not true. And a lot of times that's going to come with toxicity and abuse. And I'm not saying that men that are attractive can't be that way. I'm just saying, in my experience, I've just had way worse experience trying to like give, you know how like women think, oh, I gave him a chance. Like a lot of times that comes with resentment too, because um a lot of the times what I see is the man already kind of knows that you're like dealing with him because you couldn't get the men that you want to act right. So you're dealing with him. He already knows you might be dealing with him for financial gain. So there's a lot of anger and resentment there. And I just feel like people need to just date who they like. People need to date who they like. People need to date who they are. For example, if you go out with somebody and people don't look at y'all and be like, okay, that makes sense. I'm not saying everybody got to be a supermodel. I'm not saying everybody that you date got to be look like Brad Pitt or Kofi or anything like that, or Angelina Jolie or Kelly Rowland. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like if there's too much of a disparity to where people are commenting about it, it's gonna cause insecurity in a relationship. That's what I'm saying. Y'all can let me know if y'all think that I'm wrong, but I feel like, in my experience, I always have a much better experience dealing with somebody who is handsome. I'm not the most attractive and I'm broke, and I've been with a really nice looking woman doing her thing. And let's just say to this day, I'm looking for reparations after that. Do you feel like she was using you for your money, Jamal? And that's what I'm saying. A lot of the times, like, if you don't date somebody, if you don't date somebody that you're like looks compatible with, they can try to take advantage of you. And that's what these women are on the internet coaching women to do to men. Versus, like, for example, with me, I only date people that it looks like we make sense when we go outside. So, for example, if I'm dating a dude that we look like we make sense, but all I date is dudes that are attractive or that most people find attractive, then a man can't really play me or dog me out or mistreat me, especially not for too long, because in my mind, you're replaceable because all I date is fine. So if you think that I'm going to stay here and put up with you because you're a handsome man or you got it going on in particular areas, you're sadly mistaken, because that is the standard. So I can leave you and go get another one if you don't act right. what I can't replace is good character. And that's where I'm going to agree with you, Jamal. Like, when you can't replace somebody who has a good character and a good spirit and a good heart and soul, you cannot replace them, right? But people who look good but you ugly inside, baby, they make you a dime a dozen. No, I was a slave or serf. It was very emasculating. Do you think you would date a woman that looked like that again? And that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like men, a lot of the times, y'all got to learn how to. I'm not saying y'all got to go date women that's unattractive. I'm saying you got to change your taste. Like, for example, my taste in men and what I find attractive has definitely changed with me knowing what kind of character I want in a man. So, for example, even though I date handsome men, I don't date them sissy types that are up in the mirror and your eyebrows look more arched than mine. And every time I put it on an outfit, if I'm looking better than you feel like you got to go change what you got on. Like, there are men who are attractive, but they are still the man in the relationship, you know? So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times when you change the what you're looking for in the person, even the type of person that you're physically attracted to, and I do mean physically attracted, not just that you convince yourself, it will change, right? A lot of the times men, they want the IG models and things like that, but if you're looking for a woman that uh is nurturing and keeps the clean house, that woman might have a different aesthetic than an IG model. And once you learn to like the nurturing and the caring more than the woman that's the IG model, and you can spot that nurturing and caring in a woman, she will become what you are physically attracted to. It just takes time and retraining, you know? And I know this because my tastes have come a very long way. Yeah, I'll date a pretty woman again when I'm better, but I have depression, so it's work to even want to build myself up to do that. Man, you know what? This seems like you're just in a season where you need to be to yourself so that you don't get taken advantage of. And it's okay to work on you. Depression, you know, that's something that is a lifelong battle. And I think, you know, at this time you need to like work on your coping mechanisms. And then if it's situational, because sometimes depression is situational, fix that situation, but never deal with, I say this to anybody, never get into a relationship with anybody when you're in a vulnerable place, because that's when them predators come out. They can spot that. Only deal with people when you are in a mental space to where you're strong and you can walk away when you see that somebody is trying to do you greasy. Me personally, all I date is black girls. Don't date Latinas, and that's my choice. Why you don't date the Latinas, Carlos? I know a few. I know a lot of uh Latinos that they love black women. They love black women. Um, but can you explain why that's your preference? I'm not downing you for it at all. I just want to know. I cleansed my IG 2 years ago. IG models keep their butts in the camera and expensive handbags. Yeah, I think a lot of the times, like, that goes back to that nature versus nurture thing. Really and truly, it's like a lot of the times men, y'all continually, it's like a, I'm not just gonna blame the men, because women, we do play a role in that by publicly advertising our bodies. And I know a lot of women say, well, I might as well get paid, or a lot of times that's what gets the attention, to be honest. That's where men have to take the accountability, because men aren't really paying attention to the women who are dressed modestly, and there's money to be made on the internet. So it's like a cycle, it's like a vicious cycle where men are constantly feeding their lust and women are constantly making themselves available for that to be fed. But I think, you know, one part of elevation is taking accountability. And I like that you said that you cleanse your IG, because then you have to say, well, what role do I play and how can I lessen my exposure to this? And then you can break your mind free. I'm weak over Latinas and I'm scared to disappoint them. but I'm even more scared to disappoint another black woman. But I can't keep using white girls. I'm in Toronto. Everybody in the world is here. Oh, yeah, that's like a melting pot. Hey, 680 NT, how are you? Good to see you here, brother. Um, yeah, you know what it is about Latinas, and this is not just Latinas, this is like Latin culture in general. The language is so romantic. Uh the culture is can be so passionate that you get these extreme ups and downs in the relationship, and it can become very addicting. And so I definitely understand the appeal. I definitely understand the appeal. On top of them being beautiful, I definitely understand the appeal. But yes, it's the getting emotionally wrapped up in it. And yes, there are some Latina women that are very like calm, peaceful, steady, and even, but that is not the reputation, you know? I know the Mexican culture already. I need someone in my life to teach me and show me something new. Okay, Carlos. Baby, he said, teach me something. I know that's right. I know that's right. And Mexican men, honestly and truly, whenever I see black women and Mexican men together, or black women and Hispanic men, like culturally, because I know there are Afro Latinas or Afro Latinos, culturally black women, right? Because it's a different culture, gets with Latinos most of the time, from what I've seen, it's a good experience. I blame myself. The more you look at them, the more they pop up in your algorithm. Yeah. So like you got to do the work. I would think that like y'all would get desensitized seeing it so much to where it doesn't do anything for y'all. But I don't know. I'm not a man. All right, guys. Last thing we're going to talk about is Donald Trump, baby, working for that employee of the month. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Hold on, give me a second. Again, if you're just now coming in, hit the like button. Can y'all see? Okay, let me make myself smaller. So it says people weigh in on Donald Trump working the fry station at Pennsylvania McDonald's.
Hit that timer, bring that one up. I'm gonna take care of these. Okay. Right there, right there. Good. Then you put that right far right, hang it right up there. Yeah. And then you want to do the salt over here? Yeah. I did these ones already. They're good. You just got to do that one right there. So grab that.
Let me give them extra salt.
No. Yep. Oh, yep. Good. Right there. And
I know that's right, because sometimes they be skimping the salt on the fries, Donald. So you was right about that.
And grab the fry scoop right here. Right. Put it into there and just give them a twirl that way.
Okay. Yep. Where's the little thing?
Medium.
Okay, so up under another post about this, I saw people who were saying like, oh, I guess he's working a black job. But I'm like, hold on now. So if y'all are trying to insult him, you ended up insulting yourself, because like, since when is McDonald's a black job? McDonald's is a starter job. McDonald's is a job you get just for now. McDonald's is a job for like, lower wage workers for that point in their life, or teenagers. That is not like a race thing. A lot of people's first job was McDonald's. So yeah. Somebody said, y'all see, hold on, let me pull it up so I can see it. Somebody said, y'all notice he never answered the minimum wage question. Now, I didn't hear him get asked a question about minimum wage, but I can tell you right now, a man like Donald Trump is never going to support an increase in minimum wage. And I used to be a proponent of supporting the minimum wage. And ideally, like if laws were different, uh they would make the minimum wage more, they would increase it. But now that I live abroad and I see things from a different lens, I don't know so much, because in the United States of America, we think that we are just competing for jobs against um illegal immigrants or other Americans. And that couldn't be further from the truth, y'all. Wage suppression is not just driven by illegal immigrants coming into the country. Wage suppression is driven by jobs being offshored into other places like India or South Africa. To be honest, a lot of the immigrants who are US citizens who live here in Colombia work for US companies for lower wages. There are United States companies who will only hire Americans who live abroad so that they can charge a lower wage. So wage suppression is driven by a plethora of factors, and if you increase the minimum wage, then like in a utopian world, that'd be great. I want everybody to make more money, but like being a realist, all these people are going to do is just hire people from other countries or outsource the jobs. So like when you have people who are greedy and just want to make profit, they are going to do whatever they have to do to protect their bottom line and to make sure that they don't have to decrease their lifestyle and their way of living. And it's very unfortunate, but like that is not a real solution. Like increasing the minimum wage isn't idealistic, it's an altruistic, it is a very caring, a very humane thing to do. But in the world that we live in, it's not something that works. The presidential race never was this gimmicky when I was growing up. This is funny though, yeah, because he's definitely like, I'll say this, like he's definitely pandering here. And I'll get on to Kamala. Like I could get on to, like, trust me, I get on her all day, every day. But like this is pandering too. Just like we say she goes and she panders to the black community. Donald Trump is definitely trying to pander to the working class community. One thing though that I will say that sets him apart is that he always talks to them. Like from the very beginning. He hasn't gone and worked a job at McDonald's, but like his message hasn't changed. He's always talked to the working class. He's always talked about their issues. He's always talked about solutions that he felt like were going to help working class people. That's always been his message. Um, so I think this was like a visual representation. I don't think he needed to do this though. He is ridiculous saying I can do this all day, saying I will come back and work here. Yeah, he know he lying. He know. You know what? I'll say this. Maybe if you're like dealing with rich people problems, sometimes you wish your life was just as simple as putting fries inside of a container. But like when you have to actually live on that paycheck, I don't think he's about that life. The minimum wage is different for all states in the United States. Yes, that's true. They've been campaigning so hard in PA. It must be a very pivotal swing state. I think it is. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I think Harris loses in. I don't see her winning in that state. I don't see her winning. I don't see her winning in a lot of swing states. I mean, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Because I don't want to be talking from a biased perspective. I really don't like that woman, to be honest, as a person, just like as a human being. But it's not even just that. It's the way she got to where she is, and it's the establishment that upholds her. I can't get behind a candidate, even if I like them. Like, even if it was Bernie Sanders, I could not get behind a candidate who their own party, like the common folks in the party, did not have the opportunity to elect them. Like, if Bernie Sanders did what Kamala Harris did, and he didn't like speak up and say, I don't think this is right. Like if they tried to pull a switcheroo like that and Bernie did that, I would be so heartbroken and disappointed and like trashing him every opportunity he got. Because now you're a hypocrite. You talk about the people, change, and democracy, but you let people pull a switcheroo after the primaries. And I'm more critical of candidates I do like, which is why I'm not really rocking with Bernie anymore. PA is arguably the most pivotal swing state for sure. Oh wow, PA is very red Trump country. I didn't know that. Kamala, yes. And she takes everything as a joke. I can't stand Scamala. That's gonna be her name on this channel from now on, Scamala. And I'm scared after Bernie. Yeah, after Bernie, like honestly and truly, that's why I'm not gonna go vote in another election, because it's like the whole Bernie thing happened twice, and then not only did it happen twice, both times he never spoke up. Like he never really just called the Dems out for what they were doing. He was too afraid to lose friends. He was too afraid to boldly call them out on the actions that they were doing. And it's like after this last election, he just fell in line. Now, to be fair, there are a lot of things that he has voted against. I don't feel like he's lost his like core, but I feel like he does way too much campaigning for them. I feel like the people that he promotes don't align with his core values, but he's scared to get kicked out of the club, you know? So it's really disappointing. And I don't know too many people who could get me to the polls to vote for them. Maybe Nina Turner. But even then, if she ran on a Democratic ticket, I wouldn't trust the process. I mean, I had to explain to a Colombian person that I was talking to that this is the first time ever in American history where we have a Democratic, like, well, for a long time, like since we had the primary system implemented, this is the very first time that we have a candidate running on the ballot of a major party and they were not democratically elected by the people, like weren't even given an opportunity to be democratically elected. And their jaws drop when I tell them this. I actually have a show coming for y'all, probably going to be sometimes this week. I interviewed some Colombians, and I had a really interesting conversation with the Colombian business owner. And this is about the immigration, because y'all know Colombia is the starting place for the illegal immigration. Like this is where you come to make that trek all the way through the southern border of the United States. And guys, like the things that they told me happened, and that throughout that whole process was just gut wrenching, right? So I will be coming on talking about that. Me personally, Donald was the president before, and those 4 years I will say were not bad. He gave the American stimulus check, was making sure other countries respect America. Man, when I tell y'all, first of all, I'm going to agree with you, Carlos, in terms of like things were okay. I don't feel like we were as stressed out and holding our breath. I feel like crime was definitely lower, and it got so bad during the Biden administration. I was like, I gotta get out of here. Again, if you're just now coming in, hit the like button. I feel like people are making it seem like if he's president again, then the country is going to go to hell in a handbasket. But he was president before and it didn't. So I think they're over dramatizing things, definitely. As far as making sure that other countries respect America, y'all, every Colombian that I've talked to has told me that they hope that Donald Trump becomes president. No lie. No lie. And it's Colombians that have lived here all their lives. They're Colombians who went to the United States and then they decided to come back. And there are reasons why, because I know a lot of people will be like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with their country. Why are they speaking on us? There are a lot of reasons why, but I don't have enough time left in this live to talk about it with y'all. But I'm pretty sure this is not the only country where many people are watching our elections and hoping that Donald Trump wins. And I will explain to y'all in depth some of the reasons that they told me for this on a live, if not tomorrow, sometimes this week. Not to mention, we weren't in any wars. That is probably one of the main reasons why people want Donald Trump to become president. Like the situation didn't escalate in terms of wars while he was president. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Remember, if you need any one-on-one coaching with any situations that you're dealing with in life, whether it be childhood trauma, whether it be you're in a toxic relationship and trying to get out or trying to get over it, or if you want to completely revamp your life like I did myself, trust me, guys, I've done it all and I've had the mentality and the wherewithal to get through it, and I can help you with that too. My coaching sessions are only $30 per hour. So, again, hit me up at thepassportsis@gmail.com. Also, if you need help planning any travel, hit me up. I do itineraries. I can plan your trip from start to finish. So if that's something that you're interested in, I know the holidays are coming up. Holler at me because the prices are only going to go up as we get closer to the holidays. All right, it was good seeing y'all all. I really appreciate your time. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but y'all chose to be here with me. And I will see y'all tomorrow at the lunch hour. Y'all have an amazing day.